Hi there, my name is Michele Marsland and I run Marslands Accountants, and we specialise in the Let Property campaign. And is for letting agents and to explain to them what HMRC do every year with the information that they give to them on their landlords. Now, we know that there's a non-residence landlords and you have to deduct tax from that, but also every year letting agents need to fill out an annual form of all of their landlords explaining what properties they rent and their name, etc. So that information is held by HMRC and is used. So if you've got clients that you know who are not declaring their rental properties, you really need to listen on. So yes, so this is what happens. HMRC believe that 1 in 3 landlords do not declare their rental property. So over the last 7 years so far, they have been gathering information on their computer called the Connect computer to get all the information of these landlords that they think have not been declaring their rental properties. Now, letting agents, sorry, you've been one of those targets to get that information. And they're putting it all together. They sent out 1 year, they sent out 80,000 letters to people they thought were pretty much landlords and only got 10,000 back. So it's been a slow old process, but they are getting there. And I've noticed at Marslands Accountants over the last 6 months that they have really upped their game. So yeah, just to explain to you then what happens with this form. So say for instance you have 100 letting clients, landlords, then basically approximately 30 of those may not be declaring their rental property income. So you may have already had some come to you and go, oh my God, I thought you were doing it. Yeah, that's one of my common misconceptions, is that they think, well, because they've got a letting agent, that the letting agent does their tax for them. They also sometimes think that their mortgage company does it for them, but we know differently. So yeah, so you might have potentially 30 clients who have not declared their rental property. Some of them, like I say, may have already had a letter. And when they do have a letter, one of the things I've found over the last few years doing this is that they are really scared. They're really worried. Some of them just didn't realise that they should be declaring it. Some of them knew, they just hadn't got around to it. So there's a lot of excuses I hear along the way. But once they get that letter, it really does worry them. Often they stay awake all night for weeks on end and they don't know where to go, what to do. So that's why I've done this specific video, and I've done a whole series of videos for them as well. But this is specific for letting agents, this one, just to explain to you what we do here at Marslands that can help them and you, because they might come to you first. So that's one of the things. Obviously, we have a lot of knowledge, and so do you. You have knowledge about your part of the letting of the properties. We have a lot of knowledge about the tax element. And specifically, we have a lot of knowledge about the Let Property campaign, which is what it's called, basically. And I find that if landlords come clean on the Let Property campaign before HMRC get to them, then basically that often they save themselves a load of money, especially in penalties and that. And also it's something that they've worried about for a lot of years and they maybe haven't told anybody. So if you do have somebody that you think this may apply to, I'm happy to speak to them or whatever, put their mind at rest, give them a quote as to how much it costs to sort them out. And you can even give them an estimate of tax once we get some figures together. And that's where you can help us as well. Depending on how far your system goes back, you may be able to give us annual summaries. That keeps their fees down because we've got the annual summaries already. Sometimes, yeah, they may have paid some expenses not through their agent, and we can put those through as well. But one of the things I say is that they're really worried about this when they get a letter, or even if they haven't had a letter. So we're happy to do a little article as well for your newsletter, something like that, so that you can send out to them. We've done that successfully with other letting agents in the past, and we've had some good successes back. Some of those people stay on as clients with us as well because they realise that they just don't want to be involved in their tax now that they know they've got to do it. And I would say if you're thinking, oh, who are these people going to be? Most likely, in my experience, the majority of them are on PAYE, so they've never had to deal with the tax system. Most landlords who already do a tax return, if they're not declaring this rental property, they pretty much know that they should have been doing it, yeah. But most of the people don't do a tax return at the moment. So if you think of people that you think, oh no, I think it's probably them. A lot of these people as well are really high rate taxpayers. So when they do get their bill in for 10 or 15 years, whatever, at 40% tax, it can be pretty expensive because you've got to add the penalties and interest as well. So they are worried about it. Now, the big thing, good news about the Let Property campaign is that the penalty regime is a lot less severe than if you're in the normal system, so the self-assessment system. So actually by helping them to come clean it earlier, they'll be in the system sooner as well, so they'll be doing it regularly every year. And they can even, some of them can even have it coded out of their salary each month once they've come up to date. So, you know, there's a lot of ways we can help them and help you if you refer them. So yeah, we like to help landlords because we realise that we can make a difference with that. And also, obviously, we like to help the letting agents. And if you want a referral fee for referring on clients to us, then we're happy to do that as well. Some of our letting agents have actually said, no, I prefer it if you just made their fee a little bit lower, because they'll be a happy client anyway that I've introduced you. So we don't mind whichever way. Just to give you a little bit of an idea about who we are. So Marslands Accountants, so I am the main practitioner of Marslands Accountants. We have 4 staff as well, some are part-time, but we tend to work on a basis of, if the work needs it, we work more hours, basically. We've had a big influx in the last 3 months of Let Property campaign clients, partly because of the videos I've been doing, I think, so people can see that I know what I'm talking about, because I've been doing this for the whole 7 years. So we have kind of had a big influx, but I think also HMRC have upped their game as well. They use the information in the form that you submit them to identify who those people are, and they use other information as well, like electric certificates, gas certificates, etc., etc. But you are, you know, one of the places where HMRC will be getting a lot of their information. So by helping your clients, they will hopefully stay in the game longer. What I'm finding is some people now, they get caught because they're selling up, and it's only when they're selling up the solicitor says, well, you've got to pay capital gains tax. What did your accountant say? And they go, I haven't got an accountant. Oh, right, you should be. But I am finding with people who are selling up, that's another time when they're coming to us as well. So yeah, so Marslands Accountants, we've got the experience. We've been doing this for the whole 7 years, and I tell you what, every few weeks we learn something new as well. So we're constantly learning about this as well, because it's constantly evolving. One of the biggest things I've noticed in the last 6 months actually is that HMRC have got 2 ways of doing it. The Let Property campaign is much easier to follow, but what's happened a lot of times in the last year or so is that somebody maybe has rung up to say, look, I need to have a self-assessment tax return, but they only tell them about the current year. They don't tell them about the last 10 years. Yeah. So they think, oh, I'm in the system now, nobody will know. But then what happens is that HMRC then raise an inquiry instead. Oh my goodness, honestly, an inquiry is so much more difficult to deal with, because you're already on the back foot with HMRC. Not only have they found you, but now they found out you didn't tell them everything as well. So already they're already in at you, really, so, or at your landlords. So it's really important that if you know somebody who's maybe said, I've just gone in the self-assessment system, but they're not going to catch me, they will. And that's one thing I've noticed, and I find in that department are much more severe than the Let Property campaign department. So although the rules are supposed to be the same across the board, they're not. All right. So yeah, so if you find somebody that has one of that has done that, then please tell them to get it sorted sooner. Everybody will be caught, pretty much, I would say 90% eventually. I don't know how long this campaign amnesty is going to go on for. This amnesty normally only lasts a year or 2 for HMRC, but they're obviously realising they're getting so many more people coming into the system that they need to carry on with this amnesty. Sometimes they're not getting large amounts of tax, and you know, this is where we can alleviate some of the worries of people. One, because we know what we're doing. We've been preparing rental property accounts a long time now, because I've got rental properties of my own, and so you learn the rules quite seriously when you've got your own property, that's for sure. So yeah, so some people are doing this in the Let Property campaign, and it really is important that they understand that coming clean is much easier and cheaper to do now. And often when we claim the expenses that they've been putting through, the large repair that they might have done to the roof or whatever 15, 20 years ago, that often they don't pay tax for many of those earlier years, because the mortgage interest rates were so much higher as well. So it's only when mortgage interest rates started to come down so much that basically more and more landlords are making big profits. And then they don't know what to do, because they said, well, I told HMRC about this 10 years ago, 30 years ago. They haven't come back to me. It's not up to HMRC to come back to you. It's for you to go to HMRC, or for your landlords to go to HMRC. So yeah, so that's Marslands Accountants. So yeah, like I say, I'm the main practitioner here. We have the staff as well to help you. So yeah, feel free to either give me a call or an email. I'm on LinkedIn as well, Michele Marsland, and Facebook. I'm all over the shop, basically doing my videos and such like. But yeah, if you want to connect with me and discuss a referral program, then please do. If you want to ring the office, please do. 01752 344 582, or you or your landlords could email admin@marslands.co.uk. That's admin@marslands.co.uk. Thank you for listening to my video, and if there's any other questions you want me to answer, then feel free to let me know, and I'll do a video about it, or I'll do a personal call with you. I don't mind. I really am here to make a difference to landlords' lives, because I realise how stressful it is, and I realise that accountants often, we don't make huge difference to people's lives. So I've really become very passionate about doing this now, because I am changing people's lives. I'm changing whether they can move house. I'm changing whether they're worried about whether they go to prison or not, you know. So it really is making a difference with people's lives, and that's why my little motto is time to shine. Thank you.